Rita, if you don't know me, this is Reverend Patrick, and we just welcome you today to our celebration, to our Memorial Weekend celebration. We have something special planned today, and actually, I'll describe it now once for you, and we'll probably describe it again. But for those of you that brought flowers to honor a departed loved one, animal, whatever it is departed from you that you want to honor today. We are going to have like a little ceremony where you bring your flower up and you just say the name or names of the person you're honoring. And then there'll be some of our practitioner class here to help you make sure we put the flowers in the vase easily and effortlessly. All right, so, well, it's all right. Do we need water? You want to go get some water? You can go get some. We can get it out. Yeah, we can get it after. I think they'll be okay for the 45 minutes that we're here. Okay. All right, so that's the way that's going to work, and you'll know when that time comes, because we'll say we're starting now, and we'll have a little ceremony. All right, so also we do have a youth center here. There she is. Janice is here. If there are any youth today, I don't see anyone right now, but who knows? She is holding the space, and we appreciate that. And we are still looking for a new space. We're getting lots of little nibbles, and things are happening, but nothing concrete yet. So we'd like to stay in this area or near this area. So if you know of any place that's going up for rent, possibly even for sale, who knows, just let us know so we can look at it. We are going to be looking at Kaua'i High School as a rental because we found out that they rent there. So we're going to go check it out this week. So upcoming events, Anna Myers, our wonderful Anna Myers, who was in Nepal for both earthquakes, is back on the island. Thank goodness and thank God. It's just beautiful. She's here, and she is having her spiritual living circle in Princeville on Wednesday at 3 p.m. And she says, come a little early if you want to talk to me. She just said 15 minutes. I don't know how she could tell that story in 15 minutes. But anyway, she is back, and she's doing that. Spiritual Cinema Night this month is the film I Am. If you have seen it, you can still come because we have a wonderful discussion after. It's a film that was,
Ace Ventura.
Yeah, Ace Ventura, Liar Liar, that director, that producer, went through a traumatic life experience, and he changed his whole life, and he did a documentary on it. It's called I Am. So that's what we'll be doing in Princeville on Saturday, May 30th at 6 p.m. And then, let's see. We are live streaming. Hello, everyone, if you're on. Yes, we are live streaming now. So if you have friends off island or even that don't want to come on Sunday mornings but want to stay home with a cup of coffee, they can now watch us on their computers on the internet. So that's a really wonderful thing, and we're grateful to Dan for helping us with that. Okay, so I want to talk about this poster up here. This is our commercial today. We're having a fundraiser that we do once a year, and it's helping us to expand our center to move forward. Like, for instance, we have to get a bigger space, and that means that we need more funds. So we have a fundraiser every year. Last year we did the balloons, and we did really well with those, and it really helped us to grow. So, okay, so this is our goal up here, because we know that there's the Mind to Make It Fall has no size or space. So here's our goal up here. Last year we reached this price, we reached $52.95, which was great. But we're down here right now, and that's okay, and that's great, but we have a long way to go. So I know that can happen instantaneously, and I'm talking to you guys online too. You want to see CSL Kauai grow and be here when you come to the island, right? So here we are, and these are the wonderful people. I'm not going to read their names off, but that have already donated to this fundraiser called the Pot of Gold at the End of the Rainbow. So that's my commercial, and that's all I'm going to say. And I'm grateful in advance for the wonderful success of this fundraiser, and to Rob, who actually did this wonderful poster here. Yes? Do you have a question?
Well, I'm just thinking, how is, with the balloons, you bought a balloon. It was $150 and you bought a balloon.
Well, it's $350.
$350. And with this, there's no...
Oh, there is. If you go to the website, you can donate as little as $25 up. So we made it like more accessible for people this year. So if they felt...
So is it like buying a brick or something?
It's buying a brick. Okay. Yeah. Buying a coin, buying a brick. Yes. And each of that, like I said, it's the message behind it is we're growing the center, and as we grow, it takes the funds to grow it. And the live streaming too has increased our expenses here. So, and then live streaming is so important in this world, this global community that we live in, especially on this island. All right, so that being said, I think we're good. And Marion has a book for sale. Marion Head is going to be doing a workshop in at Toronto at the New Thought Conference that I will be attending next week. Has a book for sale, and this is it, Revolutionary Agreements. There's only one left in the bookstore, but if you choose to buy one today, she'll give you a bookmark. Am I correct, Marion? Everybody can have a bookmark. They're back there, and it has all the revolutionary agreements on them, and if you live your life by these agreements, they're amazing. So I just check it out. She can bring more books next week if you decide you want them. All right, so those are the commercials, and now we're done with the commercials, so we can just take a deep breath. And Patrick will come up, Reverend Patrick, and we'll light the peace candle. You'd like to do that first?
I went into meditation. That was my. Okay. There we go.
Yes. And this is just to remind us that peace begins within us and then moves out into our lives and out into our communities and out into the world. So let's just remember that. It doesn't start on the outside, it starts within. So I have a little seed thought for you to take into your centering time so we can get ready for this celebration. Just take a deep breath, relax in your chair, know that you are supported by an infinite universe. And Ernest Holmes wrote, "Love is a complete unity with life. And we cannot enter this state unless we are in unity with all that lives, for all life is one." Enjoy your time. So just staying in the centered place. Love is a complete unity with life, and we cannot enter this state unless we are in unity with all that lives, for all life is one. And as I breathe into that and into this moment, I know and recognize that there is only one life. Only one magnificent life. That energy and source of all that is everywhere present, that is all powerful, that is all knowing. And I know that that one source, that one life, that one presence is what I am. And I know that that one source, that one presence, that one life is what each and every person in this room and beyond, each and every creature is. I know that, and I announce that. And I am in sync with that. I claim it as my life now, and I claim it as the life of each and every person in this room. And knowing that, I know that is what we are and what we bring here today to Center for Spiritual Kauai, and what we share with each other in this moment, in this center, in this place of community. And I know that it is good. And I know that everything that needs to be done here is done. And that is done in perfection because it is Spirit doing through each and every one of us in our own unique way. So I just let this time go, I let it unfold, and I bring in that wonderful memory and joy that we have that we are celebrating today of those that have passed and are still here with us. They cannot escape, for life is forever, ever expanding. So I know this service unfolds perfectly and that we are all joined together in that one mind, that one life. And I just have gratitude in my heart for today and for this moment together. And I just release my word. I release it as law. I know it is done, as we say together. And so it is now. Thank you. Getting this out of my way. Okay. So we are here. And thank you again for being here. It's Jeremy and Amy Brown, who are our musical directors and are with us every Sunday. And we just love them and enjoy them. So enjoy their music today, as well as everything that happens here today. This is Reverend Patrick, as I said before, and I'm Reverend Rita. If you don't know us, you're in a Center for Spiritual Living, which is a worldwide organization that celebrates life, that celebrates the magnificence. Our goal is, our mission is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence. Thank you, Loya, for reminding us. Yes.
And
yeah, go ahead. Right. And so that's why we come here every Sunday, to remember that we are that magnificence, that life, and that's what we live, and that's what we bring out into our world, into our affairs, into our businesses, into whatever we're doing in life, whatever is expressing through us. That magnificence is expressing, and it is a wonderful thing, and a marvelous and magnificent thing. So thank you for joining with us today, and I will turn the time over to Patrick.
And you're very excited about this.
I am
very excited about this today.
I feel a lot of energy today.
Well, don't
It
hold
might
it
be because
back.
I didn't have an hour drive here today.
Like anybody was counting 9 minutes. Anyway, if you thought you were hearing buzzing sounds and music going on in your head, you were. It was the overhead.
It was on.
It was
Yeah,
on.
sorry about
So anyway, I just wanted you to know that nothing's really shaking in there. You're okay. Yes. So I just want to make sure that we don't have those little packets that I can see, but unless our lovely, yes.
Roseanne has
Who
it
is here
covered.
for the very first time? There's one. Do I see? Oh, I see someone in the back. First time here. Yeah. So there we go. We have a little something for you. It's good to see you back, Patrick and Katie, on their wonderful visit here on the island. Yes, love the name. So what we know is that we do know something about you, and we'd like to share that with you. Some people came in and told, no, actually no. So should we let them know? Yeah. You are magnificent. Did you know that? Yes, you did. And we know that about you because we know that about ourselves. So shall we say it all together? I am magnificent. Now just look over who's ever next to you and just say, you are magnificent, you are magnificent. You are. I know you're magnificent.
And you are magnificent out there too.
You are. Alrighty. I'm sorry, I could do this a million times and still laugh at the fact that you are magnificent can turn into such a deep conversation. It's so wonderful. It's exciting, isn't it, to remember who you are? Yeah, right? Yeah.
We can't say it enough, right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so I think we're ready for our opening song.
So stand if you feel good about that. And let's have our opening.
Our priority. Now we living, manifesting in this reality. We got to listen to the message of our earnest harmony. One love, one heart, and one identity. Away, away. So much loving in the world. Away, away. So much loving in the world. Living together as one. The golden sun, living together as one, under the golden sun, a generation, wins my soul, oh, my body, wins my soul, oh, my body, wins my soul.
Wow. And that was without a rehearsal, right? There we go.
Okay,
Alrighty.
so, all right, so we have our little celebration happening right now. And Patrick and I actually did this back in Burbank, California, a long, long time ago with our first mentor, Dr. Reverend Marlene Morris. She happens to be on today. She was a wonderful, wonderful pastor at that center. And she did this thing every year on Memorial Day where everyone, actually they had like the names hung on the wall and stuff. It was really cool, but we can't do that yet. But we will someday. But where everybody came up with a flower and honored the person that they wanted to honor and put it in the vase, and we all joined in consciousness. So that's what we're doing today. So if you don't have a flower, you can you can come up anyway,
You
all
can
right?
just-
And we
you
have
just
some
walk up
extra,
and just say their
we
name.
actually have some extra ones over there that Patrick and I are only gonna use a couple of them, so if you wanna use one of those, you can, or you can just come up. But we ask that you only just say the name, I honor, blah, blah, blah. We don't want any speeches because we'll be here till like, a long time.
And I know you say you would never do that, but
We know.
by experience, we have, so
So-
yes, we'll honor that.
All right, and Jeremy and Amy will play some gentle music in the background, and we will just do it. And Carla, you're coming up, right?
And
come on up
Roseanne.
now, and Roseanne, to just facilitate the putting of the flowers in the vase. We'll get this out of the way. And Stephanie is going to come up, one of our Science of Mind students is going to come up and read a quote to start us off. We'll have a couple of other things happening too, but right now we'll just do that.
I'm
So,
gonna show you how it's presented first person.
and
And you know I can chat.
so, bring one for me too, or two or three, it doesn't matter. Whatever you bring me is fine. I'll just, okay. All right, so first of all, I want to express what we teach in this philosophy as far as eternal life is we're immortal now. We don't wait to be immortal. We're living immortality right here and right now. And we believe that our consciousness continues after we leave this plane of action and expresses somewhere else. We don't know where or how or what, but we do know that consciousness expands. So, and is constantly expanding. So that's what we're celebrating today is the expansion, never-ending expansion of those that have left us that are still with us, really. And we also believe that they'll be there to greet us when we get to do our things. So we'll talk more about that later, but that's it. So I'm honoring my my father, Rocco Andriello, my grandmother, Caroline Hertz, and my aunt, Lucille Hertz, who were great mentors in my life.
It's the first time doing this all experiment.
As the eagle, freed from its cage, soars to its native heights, so the soul, freed from the home of heavy flesh, will rise and return home naked and unafraid.
Thank you. And this is for my mom, my brother, and my dad. And if you'll have me another one, I would like one for Kaua'i, our rooster.
Oh.
That everyone knows. Another brother.
This is for my mother. There's the lot.
Oh, I love this.
Thank you, Roseanne.
Thank you, Roseanne.
This is for my mother, Beulah Mae Johnson, Eaton, Hess, and Myers, and she's looking at you over there in that portrait.
Oh.
This is for Addison Austin Whitmer, of which this quote means so much because he was the eagle.
Just come up one at a time, or you can make a line.
This is for my friend Michael Davis, who just transitioned this month, and another imaginary one for my father, who loved flowers.
Sun La'akea sky.
George Cuneo. George Cuneo, who I love very much and who loved really well his friends.
This is George too.
This is for my mom, Louise Bigley, and for my dad.
This is for my grandfather, Robert Smith, my cousin who's like a brother to me, Lamont Holcomb, and my auntie, Rosie Holcomb.
This is for our friend Helena. For my mother, Earl, Phil, JD, Brooklyn, Ruby, and others too numerous to mention.
This is for my dad, Adam Golau. He did his very best.
This is what you get when you have a wife that takes care of things.
Lovely names.
This is for my father, Bob Jones, my mother, Betty Jones, and my brother-in-law, Gordon Keller.
This bouquet is for my mother, my father, grandparents on both sides, my sister, my cousin who just passed, and my aunt and uncle that were murdered. Blessings.
This is to honor all of my ancestors. This is to honor my Aunt Ruth.
This is for my father, Rex McKenzie, and his brother, Dale McKenzie, who were big influences in my life.
This is to honor my dear friend Carol Brown, who I think of every day.
This is for my high school sweetheart, Matt, my grandma, Olga, my great uncle, Sig, and my sister's friend, Paul.
This is for my friend, Kaua'i Anderson.
This is for my mother, my father, grandmother, and all my family who sits on the other side.
This is in honor of all of my loved ones, family, and ancestors, as well as a recent family member who's transitioned.
Excuse me. This and many other flowers roses I did get is for my mother, Rose, and my father, Peter, and my brother, Luke, and my friend, Alia, and then my son, who have spoken to me after death and said that there is no death, only an experience of being flesh. Don't waste your life.
This is for my mom and dad, my ex-husband Jim, and my neighbor Wes.
This is for my sister, my beloved sister Deb, my dad, my dear friends Lauren and Ava, and Puppy and my little girl, and Tilly and Kitty Boy and Little Boy. Yeah. All them. Let's see, this way.
So this rose is for my mom, Mary, and then this, because I was running late this morning, so this is for my kitty, my friends Todd, my friend Jeff, and my grandma.
This is for Elga Piahu, my mother-in-law, who's grows the gardenias. I had the great gift of helping her transition only recently, a couple of weeks ago.
This is for Scotto, my husband, and Jetty, the very best dog ever.
This is for my grandparents, my aunt Rolina, my uncle Larry, and my best friend Dusty.
This is for my grandma and grandpa, Leila and Edward Peterson, and also my grandparents, Merle and Herb and Dick, and my dear friend Carla.
My husband Ron and I are honoring and loving so much our mothers, Margaret Ruth and Gertrude.
And this is for my friend Ward Flynn, my good friend Jason Davis, and all my relations.
I have so many to be grateful for. My mother died when I was a year old, Genevieve. My stepmother, who died when I was 14, Verona. My father, my grandparents and ancestors, and my son Mike and daughter Sharon.
This is for all my ancestors and all the friends and loved ones that have ever passed through my life, that have gone and are still here.
This is for Helen Brown, my grandma, and all my relations.
And we actually got an email in good old Facebook. I love it. And this is from David Taylor in California, and he knew we were doing it, and he said, this is for all the people that have departed that did not have a flower today. Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you, Rosanna and Carla. Thank you. Malia, come on up. So Malia's going to, she's going to explain what she's going to do. Malia is one of our Science of Mind students also, who practices
wonderful meditation techniques.
In Kundalini Yoga, we do this chant called a call when someone leaves the earth, and it's just sending them best wishes on their journey. So I'll tell you, I'll say it and let you know what it sounds like, and then we're just going to close our eyes and chant it together, and then we're going to keep our eyes closed for just a few seconds afterwards. So this is what it sounds like. Call. That's it. And so I'd like to invite everyone to close their eyes, and we'll just take a deep breath first. Inhaling deeply. Exhaling completely. And now we're going to come into a call. Inhale deeply.
Thank you, Malia. And we're going to finish with a song, which is in your program, My Grateful Heart.
My grateful heart, so filled with years of living, memories flow by me like petals on a stream. My grateful heart forgives so many sorrows, brings peace that lasts forever. Illuminates the dream. Mi corazón tan lleno de recuerdos se deslizan suaves pétalos del mar. Mi corazón my grateful heart, so filled with years of living, memories flow by me like petals on a stream. My grateful heart forgives so many sorrows, brings peace that lasts forever, illuminates the dream.
Yeah. I was looking for my glasses, just in case. Let's let that just land for a minute before we rush into today's message. Okay. So this is Memorial, well, kind of day before Memorial. And I'm not one that looks up a lot of definitions for something, but I wanted to kind of have a grasp on. My father was in the military, and I knew all about the Memorial Day. And actually, the good news is my mother's in a veterans cemetery, so that means that she will be having some flowers today as well, because they decorate that. But it says in the dictionary, it's something designed to preserve the memory of a person, event, a monument, or a holiday. And I think, as Rita said earlier, this philosophy and whatever you personally believe is for you about what this means, because it is very individual. Because the relationships that we have with people that are no longer here in form, well, they're not here in form. But guess what? That's why we have that beautiful thing called a memory. And we can pull it up at any time. And I had wrote the other day, our talk title, Life Goes On, and indeed it does. The one guarantee is that life is a creative force that just continues on and just keeps creating from itself, and it goes on and on. And I know sometimes it doesn't feel like when someone's not here that that life goes on. And remember when they would say that to us, they'd say, life goes on. And it sounds like they want to just get past it and get over it, but that's not what it means. It means that life has never stopped and never will stop. Ever. It's just that there's a communication that we don't quite know yet fully. Because I believe, as much as I am standing here right now, that there is a veil. And it is very thin between that and the people that don't appear to be here, that have appeared to disappear. And it's really tough because it's one of those things that, how do you say it, kicks your spiritual butt. Because you don't quite know for sure, right? Yeah. And we love mysteries, but let me tell you something. We don't always love a mystery. Because I think sometimes we like to know what's really going on. That's why there's a communication that comes from the heart. And I believe it's becoming more and more. For me, I transition on a daily basis. We call it transition because the idea of death really isn't true. Because death means no more, never, nothing. In at least my definition of it. And that's not true. That's why we use the word transition, because it means you're moving on to something else. Life goes on and on and on. And for me, that idea of transition, I'm doing that daily. When I went to sleep last night, nobody whispered in my ear and said, "You're guaranteed the morning." It's like a sense of death in a way, right? You go to sleep and, here I am again. Wow. Life goes on and on and on. And I am positive that the people that we mentioned here are going on and on and through us. That's the beauty of life. As putting together this message, I thought to myself, it's kind of like moving. We're in the process of moving. And that's really what transition is. And what happens is we're moving from Princeville to Kaua'i. Letting go, saying hello. And I would like to tell you one more time, it was 9 minutes to get here today. 9 minutes of precious lifetime. And so I was thinking about this idea that, the death no longer feels permanent for me. Because we were just reading the other day in one of our classes that about this idea that every 14 months everything kind of gets rearranged in us, and once a month our skin does all this other stuff. It's constantly, dying and being reborn again. And that's really what for me today is all about, the celebration, not of something that is morbid, but something that is celebratory, that says, oh my God, literally, oh my God. We're celebrating their journey. And I know that we miss them and we have all of those feelings, but it's not permanent. They're as close to me right now as my next breath, because I am that breath. And so this thing about moving, I thought to myself, I am now dying to Princeville and being reborn to Kaua'i. And it sounds superficial, I would imagine, on some circuits, but there is a death. I told that to Rita. I was driving in because we're still doing a lot of cleaning, and I said, I don't feel the same here anymore. I'm letting go. I'm letting go. And that's the purpose that I'm really learning on a daily basis, that every day is an opportunity to let go. To die and be reborn again. Something new. To go through this life, to celebrate it. To say, you know what? I'm willing to let go in every moment. When I think of sometimes that if I were to go today, God, would you miss me? No, we can lighten up just a little bit here, folks. I was thinking, what would that be for me, and would I have any regrets, and and I'm thinking, oh, I don't know about regrets, I don't have any, but boy, I do know about living life, and how we need to live life to the fullest. And we honor no one, because sometimes we feel guilty about moving on when somebody passes away. I mean, nobody in this room, but I know I remember a story that's very interesting. A gentleman lost his son, and it was way back in like the World War II or something, and they had sent notice that day that he had lost his son. And he went dancing that night. And people, the world of judgment. They were like, oh, do you see him? His son died today, and he's out dancing. And this gentleman said, I'm eventually going to have to let go and celebrate my son. And I want my son to see me dancing and celebrating. Everybody does it differently. Everyone grieves differently. But I know for a spiritual fact that we never, ever die. So, I'm going to actually end with this wonderful, I've used it before, but it seemed very appropriate today. And it's from Reverend Gary Oldman, one of our peeps in LA, and I told him I would take it today, and he was very, very thrilled that we were using it. And it's a little story he wrote. It was day after day Thomas shows up to say good morning by lying on his mother's gravestone. Finally, the day had come that he silently said to his mother, I won't be returning as much anymore. And this is what this young boy realized. I am not going to come here to find you anymore. Instead, I will lift you up and carry you wherever I go. I will hold you close to my heart as I walk through this world, so that wherever I am at, you get to see the world through my eyes. I hope I can show you the best of it, and I hope I can show you the best of me. Just as close as your next breath. Namaste. Thank you. Oh, yes, you can clap. We're having music. You try something new and everything gets it. We're having music in between our special music in between our talks. Thank you.
This is a Hawaiian song. I'm actually not sure the composer, but it does speak about everlasting life. So we bring this song today. The song has about 12 verses, but we're only going to do 2. And it just speaks of our praising our highest good, our highest God, and whatever it is you believe, called Uamau, everlasting.
Uamau mai ke pono, mai ka makualani mai, ke hui nei mako, I kona loko mai kai, I kona loko mai kai. Uamau mai ke pono, mai ka makualani mai, ke hui nei mako, I kona loko mai kai, I kona loko mai kai. Hosana ia ke apua, maunalani kie, Kaua'i mo ana mai, I wa me keiki lokai ku kamana I ho'okahi pu'ai I ho'okahi pu'ai Kene mai mako Makua me keiki Lokai pu kamana I ho'okahi pu'ai I ho'okahi pu'ai O sanai ake apua Mamalani kie Kaua'i o ana mai I Coca-Cola I Coca-Cola O sanai ake apua Mamalani kie Kaua'i o ana mai I Coca-Cola I Coca-Cola I Coca-Cola
Thank you. That was beautiful. Thank you. Okay. It's really true what Patrick said about moving is so similar to what we're talking about today. And I'm thinking about leaving. First, I'm thinking about finding my notes. Ooh, that's interesting. Ooh. Maybe I don't have any. Oh, wouldn't that be something? I'm not going to be okay. Okay. That's interesting. I don't see them. Anyway, okay, so I'll start where I am. There's something here, but not all of them. They're here. They got put in weird. Okay, that's all right. All right. Because I want to start with this idea that any of you who follow me on Facebook know I have these two little cardinals and in Princeville that I've had for they've been visiting my balcony for my lanai for almost 2 years, saying, coming and sharing a few Cheerios and talking to me and singing and they've gotten even more, verbal lately, like pecking at the window, jumping on the screen. And so I was like, I've been debating on, should I capture them and take them with me? And I went to Karen Stoll and said, bring me a carrot, maybe bring me a cage and all kinds. And I thought and prayed on it a long time, and I just realized I couldn't do it. I just couldn't do it. Because, first of all, there's 2 cats on my lanai. I was thinking I would never forgive myself if something happened to those 2 birds. But I thought how much like that must be when you leave here or when you're letting someone go and they can't take us with them because we still have to express where we are and we can't make them stay because we have to go on and they have to go on and do what they're doing, whatever that is. And I know that life is eternal. It has to be. I don't remember never being here, and I have proof of it every day in my own life. And I can feel my father with me and those that have passed. Anytime I want to, I feel them there, and I even can ask them questions and I get answers, and I don't hear their voice, but I feel a feeling. And so I know that I do believe what we teach, which is that life forever, ever expands on and on and on. And I guess here it is. Ernest Holmes said, I believe in the continuation of the personal life beyond the grave, in the continuity of the individual stream of consciousness, with a full recollection of itself and the ability to know and to make itself known. And he says, I wish to feel, when the experience of physical death shall occur, that which I really am will continue beyond the grave. I wish to feel that I shall again meet those friends whose lives and influences have made my life happy while on earth. And then he goes on and says, is there anyone who, standing at the bier of a loved one, can possibly feel that the real end has come? He says it's useless to say that their influence lives after them. That is true, of course. But we hope for more than this. We wish to feel that they still live. And it's the only thing that makes any sense to me. And it's the way that brings peace and love into my life when something happens that person leaves. So I heard this thing once says that people come into your life for a season or a reason or a lifetime. Have you ever heard that? Yeah. And when you know what it is, then you'll be okay with it. And that people come into your life for a season because you need them at that time, and they're there for that season, and that you learn something from them. They come for a reason, and they come for a particular reason. Have you ever had that where you just like you're dealing with something in life and somebody just steps in right at that moment and gives you exactly what you need, and then they're gone. Not necessarily passing or transitioning, but just gone out of your life. I had a friend once, she came for a season. I was so devastated by it because she just left all of a sudden, but she was with me for like about 2 or 5 years or something, and then she just left. But she was there for a season, and then I had to accept that she was gone. And then there's people that come into your life for a lifetime, and they're with you forever. And they're just, you just learn from them through now when I say a lifetime, I mean a lifetime here on earth. Lifetime here on earth, and they're with you forever. And these aren't necessarily people that are making you happy. These might be people that, they're just that little thorn in your side, but they're still there, So they're there for a lifetime. And again, it's the same thing. Our relationships are the things that are there for us to grow and to become our true selves. So the reason, the season, the lifetime. But in reality, in the ultimate reality, which is what we teach in this philosophy, really, everyone's with us eternally. Because if we make any contact on this earth plane with anyone, in any experience, I feel that they're our soulmates. They're the ones that are traveling through this experience called eternity with us, and will continue to travel with us as we go from here. So I'm just grateful for this day. I'm grateful we have this community, that we could share this together today and have this comfort with each other. And if anything came up for you during this and you want to be with Patrick and I to do a prayer or anything like that, we're always available for that. Or just somebody next to you, whoever you need that comfort from, if you need that, if something came up for you today. I think it's important. But thank you for allowing this space and for us all to come here and be willing to share this. I know it's really, really good, and I'm grateful for it. So thank you. Mahalo, and mahalo to all the dear ones that meant so much in our lives, and knowing that they're in their perfect place and that they're growing and expanding, and that they're always here if we need them, just a thought away. I know that. So namaste. Thank you.
Okay. Those little cardinals. All I got to tell you is sometimes the greatest thing you can do for someone is to let them go. And sometimes that's really hard to do if you've ever been in that position of having to be with somebody that's transitioning. But sometimes the gift and the thing that we can give them is to say, it's okay, you can go. So, with that being said, just when you thought we were going to have another moment of birds and things up, here I am again. But this is our time of affirmative giving. And what that means to us is this is not only monetarily, but it's just your consciousness that you bring into this room. Like Rita was saying, that we have a community that we are building here that can support one another. And that is what we do here every Sunday, and through the music and everything. So this is our time of giving. There is something in the program, and a prosperity exchange affirmation, if you'll join with me in that. Give you a chance to get it. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. Knowing it returns to me abundantly.
Abundance, living life in the abundance. So much good love in abundance. Sweet sensation of a new day rising. Abundance, I feel myself in this abundance. Giving thanks for this abundance. Calling in the blessings of a new day rising. Abundance, living life in the abundance. So much good love in abundance. Sweet sensations of a new day rising in abundance. I feel myself in this abundance. Giving thanks for this abundance. Calling in the blessings of a new day rising.
So, what I know and is abundance. And I sit in that abundance and in gratitude for it in every part of my being. I give thanks for these donations. I give thanks for the consciousness behind them. I give thanks for the consciousness in this room that just expands the center every single solitary day to do its work here on the island of Kauai and beyond. So with this gratitude in my heart, I simply release this word, knowing that these donations go to amazing use in this universe. As we say together, and so it is now. All right.
Just one note on the flowers before we do the thank yous. If anyone knows of someone, you can't take our vases because we borrowed the vases, but if you know some place that you feel like these flowers would do good, at least the ones that we brought here. And Loya, thank you again for these beautiful flowers to celebrate, as you do every week for us. Yeah, thank you. But if you know of any place where we're perfectly willing to allow them to let go. But just don't take the vases because we borrowed them from Lolita. So there we go. Some thank yous. Let's start at the wonderful greeters here, Glenn and Marion, for giving their light as you came in there. And Dan the man, thank you very much for bringing this.
And for those of you online, I just want to say that we are having some web streaming issues. I know some of you have already emailed me to let me know, and it's about the internet here, so we will get it fixed.
We will
somehow. I don't know, but we will.
And Marta, who is at the bookstore with all those wonderful books. There's so many up there. Just let her tell you about them and just be a part of this wonderful, wonderful philosophy. And Stephanie, thank you so much for coming up and giving us our quote. And for Carla and Roseanne for helping with this memorial celebration. And for the programs. And just all of those things you do. And Rob for the wonderful picture right there. Beautiful artist here. And we have our wonderful Jeremy and Amy, who we just love. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for everyone for showing up today and sharing your consciousness with us. And Malia,
where are you at?
There you are.
There
There's
she
always
is.
someone. Malia, thank you for the chant.
I've been trying, and it's a good thing. You start at the door, and you just start working your way around the room, and I almost got it. Malia, thank you.
All right, I think we're ready for our closing song. All right.
Which is in a circle. So
yeah, we like to do our circle.
Make sure
I go over here right away and do my little turn thing that I always do. Takes a while. No. Oh yeah, it took a while to upload it. It was a mistake though.
There we
Shouldn't have
go.
it. Yes. I was just gonna.
Imagine there's no heaven. It's easy if you try. No hell below us, above us only sky. Imagine all the people living for today. Imagine no possessions. It isn't hard to do. Nothing to kill or die for, and no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join us, and the world will live as one.
And what I know in this wondrous circle that we have come together today on purpose, and this circle that we are holding hands, we know that those wonderful, wonderful beings that have been in our life that we are celebrating today are right here in this circle with us, through us, and as us. So the separation is over, and the absolute wholeness and completeness is right here and right now. We celebrate that, we are that, and we continue living life to its fullest, from its fullest. Today, we are reborn again, and in that next unborn moment, we will be born again. So today we celebrate life, 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 as together with so much gratitude we say, and so it is now.
Imagine no possessions. I wonder if you can. No need for greed or hunger. A brotherhood of man. Imagine all the people sharing all the world. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you'll join
how many times did it go off?
Oh, it's the bandwidth in this place.
What are we going to do about it, do you think? There's nothing we can do.